Well, welcome to Bonehead Weekly. Chad is sexting. Ooh, who you texting, Chad?
I'm making notes for today's episode.
Are we? This is recording, right?
It's
Usually I see
been
a little red.
recording. Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but usually I see a little red icon to let me
I
know
didn't
it's
get one
recording,
either.
and I don't
Well,
see
hold
it.
on. It says it's pause or stop recording. Yeah,
No,
it
you're.
says
I'm sure it's
recording.
fine. I'm
No, I
sure it's
got a
fine. Oh, there
recording in
it
the
is.
upper
It's
right.
yeah. Now it says it. It didn't say it for. I was just making sure. I didn't want our epic words of wisdom to be
Uh-oh, James is
lost.
gonna have to run another Zoom update when we're trying to record.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want our
That's
words to.
never been a
I don't want
problem.
our. I don't want our words to be lost like tears
So this
in
is
the
our New
rain.
Year's show. These are always really popular for some odd reason, the New Year's recap shows. But I do want to say really quick, we are going to be doing some rebranding. We talked about this a little bit live the other day when we did our Facebook Live, and our 400th episode's coming up. So we don't quite have that ironed out of what we're doing. We several people sent us ideas and we went, yeah, those are great.
Yeah, it's way better than what we
What
normally
we
would do.
had, gentlemen, if you all have a counter argument to anything I just said,
Nope.
mm,
Usually we turn out crap.
yeah, it's just yeah, that was great. I somebody brought it up to me, and I was like, oh, that I think I said it on the live the other day. Yeah, Tiffany, who I met at, she sent a message asking, oh, what are you guys doing for the 400th? It's like, oh, no, that's a good question, and it's coming up because I think this is episode 398.
Oh, really? So we gotta actually have a plan soon.
Yeah, because we already know what episode 399 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What
What
do we
is
got?
episode 399?
Oh, we were texting about it. Remember Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
And then if we don't do that for episode 400, 401's that breakfast cereal thing that James wanted to do.
Actually, I was completely making that up, but I think we should do it. I think we should do it. That's how we'll get discovered and then be big Hollywood icons.
That sounds like a plan to me. So this year's review, what do you want to do? How do you want to start? Talk
What do you
about our
did? And
least
you should.
favorite? Talk about our wonderful things. What is stuff that you enjoyed? What was the best thing? Here, I will ask a question. Personally, what was your favorite thing that happened to you this year?
That happened to
That
us?
happened to you personally? Which one
The
of you would like to go first?
the rising cost of pitchforks made it harder on the villagers.
Mm.
Now I'll have to think about that for a second. That's a good question. I just have to think about it for a second.
Well, it's a cliche question, but I, I,
Well,
I was I was at
But
my dad's, and I've told you both this, and he was going off about something, and I said, do you have any positive stories?" And I realized in the last few days that I should do more of that too. Like there's positive things that happen.
I'll
I'm
go.
Yeah.
I'll just say, like, I won't go into details, but I've had a pretty shit year. But I will say the one of the coolest things that happened this year is watching my daughter find her passion, which is volleyball, and watching her just constantly practice and excel. And that's all she wants to do is play volleyball, and it just makes me happy. So that's probably the happiest things that happened to me this year is one of my daughters finding their passions,
Now
and
he won't
another one who's starting her own. So
her own what? Bait
her own
shop?
passion. She's looking to explore a passion. So
Bait shop?
guitar.
What about
oh,
bait
now
shop?
oddly enough, the boy child just got one of them get fiddles,
He
and
just had it at my house.
yeah, and he was playing Joe the Greatest Sounds of Cacophony. That's not a band; it's just how he plays.
Now, James.
Cacophony, look it up. Oddly enough, I'll go a little bit along Chad's line. It is really interesting. My daughter got her first major I guess, primary role, starring role, I guess, in a show. She was the Legally Blonde musical. She didn't want to be Elle. She could care less about Elle, but she wanted to be Paulette, and she got it. She worked really hard, and she got it, and she rocked it. And I know I'm biased because I'm her father, but the amount of other people that told me, "Oh my God, she really nailed Paulette." And if you're not familiar or you haven't seen it in a while, Paulette is the character played by Jennifer Coolidge. And I know what you're thinking, but James, you come across as very high class. How could your daughter possibly channel Paulette? From Legally Blonde. No, she did. She nailed it. Um, so there's that, and I guess I mean I very rarely talk about my actual work life on here, but as we've mentioned in passing before on the show, I got to move home. I'm closer to these idiots, but also to my family.
We
They
we came first.
Well, I was gonna say, and they all think
Believe
it's
me, Chad,
terrible.
most people, you come first most days.
Mhm.
Um, so there's that, but also I didn't miss a beat professionally, so to speak. I did get a couple more publications this year, which I don't talk about my publications on here because they're not cool fictional things that I would actually like to do. They're academic writing, but usually when you switch jobs, people talk about, oh, you lose productivity. I didn't. I had two or three things come out this year, and I've already got two things coming out next year. One of which I'm actually excited by because it does verge into fiction a little bit. I found out right before Christmas, I guess, and I think I actually sent these gentlemen a copy of the cover. Um, a work I did on haunted campuses. So looking at the myth of haunted campuses and ghost stories on campus, and why do we
What
have
do you
this
mean
and
myth? Myth? Myth?
myth?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway,
There's three Muppets fans just
yeah.
howling right now.
But anyway, yeah, so that'll be coming out in September. And actually, I was just thinking about I need to talk to the editors and the other authors and see if they would actually be interested in presenting that at Scarefest as a possible panel. Where they bring in the paranormal panels. I wonder if anybody would be interested in doing that. I could actually blend my interest, my non-academic interest with my nerd interest, or my academic interest with my nerd interest, and see if it would work out. Anyway, but yeah, so it's that stuff has been really
Didn't I ask for
positive.
one thing?
What?
I was I was just saying, did I ask for
Joe,
one
listen,
thing?
do you know how hard it is for me to be positive?
Yeah.
Do you know? I
I'm
mean,
actually the positive. I'm the most positive out of the three of us.
yeah. So let me have my list of three positive
And
things,
I am not
and
a positive person.
and I will go back to how everything sucks. How we're probably, about how I think I pulled a groin. I don't know, Joe. I don't know a
Whose was
groin.
it?
Um, I don't know that either, Joe.
It wasn't
I've got to
mine.
I've got to sort that
Cause
out.
you come first.
Do you know? Do you know how hard that conversation is to wander around
I
asking
know how
questions?
hard it wasn't after.
Oh, listen, refractory periods and whatnot. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so there's some good things,
Well,
but I'll go
good.
back to being negative now, like you want.
I appreciate it.
I bet you do.
Should I just go ahead and answer, or should I wait on one of you to ask me?
Oh no,
No,
Joe,
you
why
should just
don't you
answer.
tell us? Why don't you tell us about your sunshine and
I'm
lollipops and
having a
whatnot?
hard time. I asked you all without actually having an answer to this. What about my bodily function?
What?
Huh? I swear to God, that's what I
Is
thought you
Superman
said.
a hobbit? By the way, everybody, Chad changed his name to Superman. Is that because he's short and behind you?
Hmm.
Or is
Forced
that forced
perspective.
perspective? I was about to say maybe he's 15 feet tall and
Why
you
did you
just
go
have a
with the Brandon
very
Routh one?
It was given to me. I didn't buy it.
yeah,
Chad was
he's
telling me
he
about how his protection racket before we started recording and
And
how
he
he's got
could
all
have
these
made
hats out of it.
he could have made a good Superman. It's just
I would
that movie
argue
sucked.
he's not a terrible Superman. He didn't have a great script.
He's
He
a
is,
terrible Dylan
however,
dog.
he's a terrible Dylan Dog. I have Dylan Dog over here on the shelf, the book that's supposed to be based on. Ain't no Groucho Marx in that movie.
No. All right. So for me, I was actually having a hard time with this one. Because you all were like, "Oh, my kids, my kids," and I was like, "Oh, professionally, I don't really have anything at work wise." And then there's a couple things at the house that worked out okay. My kids reading better, but actually, it took me a minute, and it wasn't until we got to James, and James was at the end, and I was really listening and going through my brain. I guess my highlight would be my 10 years of doing my side gig. I didn't think I always wanted to make it 10, and I didn't think, you know, that usually doesn't happen. Unless I get struck by lightning or something happens, I'll make it even at least another one or two. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no.
God willing, I have another 10. I doubt it, but I hope. I want to. So that's one of my highlights. It was a
Well,
beautiful moment.
let's cover our bases. God willing, and the creek doesn't rise.
I know. And the creek doesn't rise. God willing, and the creek doesn't rise. I should, hopefully. Another 10 would be great. You know what I want after that?
Another 10.
Another 10. Yeah, we're just greedy
I'd trade it
bastards
all.
for a little more. C. Montgomery Burns. So this year, gentlemen, who would like to go first about some of their things? Should we start with the
Let's do
negative or the positive?
Oh, I was just because I would say just focus on the positive. I mean, we could say a couple
We go,
negatives if you want.
maybe instead of honorable mentions, we end with these are the things that sucked.
Yeah, but I say we start with movies and then move to TV.
All right, go ahead. Who wants to go
Uh,
first?
I'll I'll start right at the top. So I was me and Joe and James had this talk about, well, 2025 just seemed kind of like a bummer year for movies. There wasn't anything that really stuck out. Like I haven't had a year like this since 2004, but then I started putting my list together. You know what? Out of the year, I say I've seen at least 8 or 9 good movies, and I'll start with the one that one of the two that I love the most. We mentioned this on Good Movie Monday, but it's Mickey 17.
Yeah.
Um, it was probably my favorite movie of the year, um, just because I I all I want is good science fiction, and it's hard to find nowadays. And Mickey 17 was straight up just a really good science fiction film for me. It had a lot of current social commentary, and everybody in that movie was amazing. Even Mark Ruffalo, sometimes I find it hard to like Mark Ruffalo, but
I don't disagree with you, by the way.
yeah, but him playing a Trump-esque president, um, really was he did a solid performance, and just even same thing with Robert Pattinson. I don't have like a lot of the times he's on the screen, I get turned off, but I loved him as just this little twerp of a man, um, who's just trying to get by getting cloned over and over again as they murder him so violently. So yeah, I just loved Mickey 17.
I'm midway through it. Chad recommended it, and I was forever trying to get to it, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I should have already finished it, but you're right. It's Robert Pattinson's best performance so far.
I
To
agree.
me, I don't hate him. He doesn't annoy me, and I don't think he's a
I'm the same
terrible
way.
actor.
He's no Timothy Chalamet,
Right.
but yeah,
Well, actually,
in terms of
I don't dislike Timothy
I
Chalamet,
know
but yes. I get what you're saying.
I am on note to saying I do not like Timothy Chalamet. He rubs me the wrong way. Robert Pattinson does not. So
But also, Robert Pattinson has never ever given me a performance where I was like, oh my God, I got to check out the next R-Pats. But I
yeah,
really think he's so far not done with it. But Mickey 17's pretty damn good.
I would say. Hold on one sec. Let me look up because I want to make sure I get the name right. No, you
Yes,
go ahead. Go ahead. I gotta find out the name of it.
James,
So
you up on deck?
Yeah, I can be ready. You want me to go ahead and go,
Yeah,
Chad, or
sure. Yeah. No, I'm done. I said Mickey 17.
um, I'm going to go with one that wasn't immensely popular. Me and Joe talked about this. I giggled all the way throughout it. It's honestly, it was just fun for me, and it didn't get a lot of love. It didn't, but the Phoenician Scheme. Would you care for a hand grenade? No, thanks. I've got one.
I
Um,
liked it better than his last 2 or 3 movies. These people who were
I
crapping on it, I had a hard time getting through Asteroid City,
Well,
but I thought.
there's another movie me and you both agree that the critics didn't give a fair choice to. But yeah, I like the Phoenician Scheme. I don't understand why people are shitting
I,
on it.
it's his best movie in years.
Hmm.
yeah, it's and I'll be honest, I get it to an extent that if you want a happy ending, maybe this isn't the movie for you, I guess. But it's not a terrible ending either, right? It's
Yeah.
the entire thing. You know what it reminds me of? I think the reason I like it is it very much plays like a Marx Brothers film. Lots of wordplay, lots of silliness, and no real change by the end. I mean, situation change, but it's very much, I don't know, farcical, I guess. And it just, I mean, the repeated lines like myself, I feel very safe. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it is ludicrous. And actually, the cast, I'll be honest, this is one of the movies where I appreciated Michael Cera more than I have in a lot of his last few roles.
Yeah.
He plays the role, the way he plays that role is better than he's played, not, maybe that's not fair, different than he's played some of his other roles. And it just really works for me. I mean, also, it's just got a great cast. F. Murray Abraham, William Dafoe, Benicio del Toro. By the way, what a banner year for Benicio del Toro in some ways. I wasn't crazy about everything he's in, but he's in a lot of movies that did get some love this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of which I'm not a huge fan of, but I did Phoenician Scheme. I giggled throughout it. I was about half asleep when I watched it, and I would wake myself up. But no, I didn't really fall asleep, but I would giggle and wake back and be like, "No, I gotta keep going. It's hilarious. It just worked for me, and it is because it feels like a Marx Brothers farce in some ways. So, I mean, it's not for everybody, and people are gonna listen to this and be like, "James, you're an idiot. It sucks." That's fine, but it's one of the first movies that actually we've talked about on the show before. Comedy is dead in some ways. It's really hard to get a comedy at the box office. I would argue we had three good ones this year, and I would argue actually that the Phoenician Scheme is one of those three.
Yeah.
No.
Mine is the one that the other two boneheads weren't crazy about, but this is in no order. We all agree. I am not listing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm listing. I am listing things because there wasn't a ton of things that pulled at my heartstrings or that I loved or I fell in love with. But I saw it. I didn't have a huge burning desire to watch it. The last couple P.T. Anderson films, whatever. And I watched one battle after another. Now I had to watch it broken up, and the other two watched it in a row. But it's the same thing that works in the Phoenician Scheme. The absurdity of it works for me. And Chad was like, I don't know, I didn't get it, and then James was like, or didn't enjoy it. And I kind
No,
of,
it's not, I got it. It was just not. I didn't. I just thought it was Midland. I didn't care for it that much.
I don't understand the Midland one, but I do understand where some people will be like, oh yeah, it's just not for me. Do you know what I
Yeah, I was
mean?
about to say, my question to you, and I said this the other night, is I don't know who it was made for. I mean,
It was kind of
it's
made for
well
me.
done. It's well done. It's just, I think there's a lot of other movies that have told a similar story, and the one that came to mind, and I say similar story, it's obviously not the exact same, but like it's V for Vendetta. I prefer V for Vendetta over that.
You think that's kind of close to V? I don't see it that way
Well, I mean, it's all
because none
about.
of them are that bright.
Yeah, they're all incompetent.
Yeah, well, and actually, and the parts about it that I did give credit to, and I give them credit for not cutting it. Like that's the entire scene where he's on the phone.
Oh,
I don't remember the password.
no,
I
okay,
don't,
so
and
Yeah,
that
that scene I
worked.
liked.
that's you. Okay, you both summed up why I love the movie in one way. Two reasons I think I'm having a hard time putting it into words. Well, three things. One, a lot of people were, especially several critics, were talking about how it's one of the best movies of the decade. I do not agree with that. It's one of the best movies I saw this year for me, and the reason was a couple. One is not only the absurdity, but the way it takes the story. I have absolutely why is blah 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 excited because this terror, this is sitting in his lap, and you all know what I'm talking about, and it just goes from there. I loved that. I loved that a lot of these people are idiots. I actually, to me, this is as much as I like him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is one of DiCaprio's best performances because I believe that guy exists.
Yeah,
Truthfully, I truly believe he exists. And he's trying to be a good dad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
If nothing else, he is trying to be a good dad, and he's risking everything for his daughter to try to be a good dad, and is surrounded by ridiculous people in ridiculous circumstances. And where else am I going to hear the phrase demon semen or semen demon? Which way was it? I don't know.
Demon Seaman.
Demon semen. Yeah, it's hard to hear that anywhere else. I don't know. The movie just worked for me. I enjoyed it. I didn't know where it was going a lot of the times. And of course, the one twist, I don't even know if it plays out as a twist really in the movie about if they haven't seen it, am I giving stuff away if I say, who's dad,
yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I wouldn't say that. Don't give it away.
But it's not really a big twist in the movie. You kind
Well,
of see
Well,
it
no, but some
coming.
people may not see it coming.
well, and I was gonna
Okay, I
say, and it's
guess.
not so much a twist as I would argue, and Joe, you may feel differently, but without saying what this is referring to, I think it's a non-issue.
It's a
because
non-issue to anybody
to
except
anybody
him
that matters, to him, yeah, to one character, it is the driving force of a lot of the movie.
and his
Once you get to
desire
that
for
part,
whatever this is to become
yeah,
part of that Christmas club or whatever it's called.
yeah.
Um,
But to everybody else, it's a non-issue.
it's a
And
non-issue.
that will again, I'll give it that. That was like at the end of the thing, the other characters learning that quote unquote twist is irrelevant. They don't care. It doesn't affect their lives.
Even the one it affects the most, it doesn't care, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know. I just
yeah.
really enjoyed the movie. It was so well acted by DiCaprio and everybody involved. That's another Benicio del Toro, really good performance in it. I don't know.
And another
It
almost
works for me. It
not
works for me on every level, and it's not the best. I don't know. I don't have the best movie of this year, but I really enjoyed it. So it was nice to have something that just kind of spoke to me. And I still haven't quite figured out how the best way to explain why it spoke to me, but it did. And I
Um,
enjoyed it. All right. My
so
next one
some
will change up quite different. Will be quite different.
and again, this falls into the category of this movie that didn't overly get a lot of great reviews, and I don't understand why. I genuinely love Osgood Perkins the monkey.
So I
I
should have loved it, and I didn't love it.
I don't understand. I loved every minute of it. It was funny. There were scenes that I just busted out laughing. The only criticism I have about it, and it's a thin one, is Theo James. I don't he really didn't. It felt like he was just kind of phoning in his performance. But
Really? You think that's true, even though we played both brothers? Is that the guy
well,
that played the brothers?
yeah, when he played the evil twin, he was great, but the other guy was just
Oh,
meh.
see, I just took it as that's just his. He's just not an interest. He's just,
Yeah, and that's the way
the
I
other
took
one's
it
just not that
too.
interesting.
I just that again, that's not a criticism for me. I thought he was great. I could just see that being other people's criticism. Um,
My
but
criticism was actually Osgood putting himself. I think somebody could have done a better job with the uncle than Osgood could have.
yeah,
That's a role where somebody, a really great character actor, could have done more with that.
yeah. But again, I just loved the whole thing. It was almost like how can we make these people die in the most odd and funny ways possible? I just thought it was a great story. I loved it. So I hate that people are kind of shitting on it. So the monkey was one of my best films of the year.
Okay, James.
Man, there's a lot actually. I'm gonna go with one that I actually need to check and see if it got a theatrical release or not. But it was a film that I saw at least on Netflix, and it's one that my wife actually was like, I want to watch this. Do you want to watch it with me?" And I did, and I'm glad I did because it's not a perfect film. And as Joe said, these aren't in any order. These are our personal opinions. But I had a lot of fun watching Thursday Murder Club.
So
I need,
I watched the first 20 minutes and I've never I went back to finish it.
Well, I was about to say it didn't start out that strong for me, but my wife wanted to watch it, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it with you," because the cast is so good. And if you're not familiar with it, because I think in the U.S. it more or less premiered on Netflix. It may have got a short theatrical window.
I didn't know that it was in on anything other than Netflix. No, I
Helen
didn't even know
Mirren,
it was anywhere. Go ahead.
Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, uh, I forget who else is in it, but I mean, it's based on a book, which was an international bestseller by Richard Osman. And Richard Osman wrote a book um, that basically is set in a retirement community, and one of them, Helen Mirren's character, without giving away a couple of things that you find out about her through the end, is she's obsessed with solving cold crimes, but she's retired. She's in a retirement. This is all set in a retirement community, um, and they set up the Thursday Murder Club, which is where they go to the the game area of the retirement community. And Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, and Helen Mirren, and you find out there was a fourth member who unfortunately had a stroke and is dying. Um, and they start solving they look at, here's the cold cases, what can we figure out? Well, they finally get one and it actually ends up overlapping with a couple things that they know, and they're working on solving it. And it is, you hear the term like cozy Agatha Christie type. It's a little bit of that, but then it also, there's some really dark parts of it that as you go along, you find out, and the people at risk. And if you're a fan of, this was produced by Steven Spielberg and Jennifer Todd. It's directed by Chris Columbus, known for many people for Harry Potter purposes, as well
Hmm.
as tons of other things. But it's just this really slow burn horror, or not horror, slow burn murder mystery where there isn't initially, it feels like there's not a lot at stake, right? It's a cold case, but it amps up as the thing goes
Does
on.
it really? Does it get? Do I need to go back and redo it? Because I love Pierce Brosnan and everybody involved in it.
Without saying anything, eventually they introduce, and I'm blanking on his name, but people that are a big fan of Lucifer will be excited because it stars the guy that played Lucifer on the show Lucifer, um, Dreamy Smurf, whatever his name is. Why am I blanking on his name? Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
Um, but anyway, he's in it and he plays Pierce Brosnan's son, and things start to get really interconnected. And once the big, I guess, kind of reveal about who Helen Mirren really is and why she is obsessed with these cases and who the fourth member of their club was, it does get a lot more compelling. But I don't know. I can't tell you to rush back and see it, Joe, because it really is slow burn. Tom Ellis, by the way, is Lucifer,
Hmm.
plays Lucifer. It really is. If I was betting, I bet Netflix thought, oh, if we pick this up, we'll have the next Knives Out. It's not. It's
Hmm.
not that. But it plays a little bit like it once everything hits the ground rolling, because and the ending of the movie is Jonathan Price, by the way, is in it and does a brilliant job as well. I should have mentioned him earlier as Helen Mirren's husband, who is losing. He has dementia,
Hmm.
and it is that seems really heartbreaking. But oddly enough, I think one of the reasons the film stands out for me is it's ultimately, by the end, it's life affirming. It's really weird to have a murder mystery that ends up with these characters coming together, and without spoiling anything, they come together at a funeral at the end, and basically the realization they all have is, oh, what a great thing it is to be alive, and what a great thing it is to defend the idea of being alive, and what a great thing it is to have someone to lose.
Yeah.
It was really weird to think about it in a murder mystery, but it takes that Agatha Christie element and it twists it. And it's again, it's all set at a retirement home, more or less, where they just don't have anything to do. And they start doing these cold cases to keep their mind sharp. And that's really, I mean, it's farcical in some ways, but it's ends up to me being somewhat life affirming. Also, if you're a fan of um, David Tennant, he's in it as well. There you go. But yeah, if you're interested in cozy murder mysteries that end up with a couple dark twists in them, I would say Thursday Murder Club is one to check out. It's one that I enjoyed this year. I can't recommend it to everybody, but I'm glad my wife said, "Hey, you should watch this with me," and I did, and it stuck in my head.
The only th Do you know the most unbelievable part of the 15 or 20 minutes I watched?
What?
I just can't imagine a retirement community with Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren living in them. They
Oddly
just
enough,
don't look like they belong in a. I understand they're of that age, but do
hmm?
you all understand what I'm trying to say? There is just doesn't compute in my head. I can't
No,
explain it.
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, and that's one of the things, and that's one of the things that when they get to a couple of the twists, Joe, that may make you roll your
Yeah.
eyes even more. That's what I'm saying. It's not one that if you look it up on Rotten Tomatoes or anything, it has a 77 positive by critics. Audiences are far meaner to it. It's 53% approval rating. But I'm telling you, as someone that wanted a little escapism and a little, thought, oh, it'll just be a fun movie. I actually walked away going, oh, it actually makes some points that, as I said earlier, I'm a pessimist. And the end, even though it's at a funeral and all this stuff, it's, oh, I'm glad we did this. And it's that realization. I was like, you know what? It made me actually think about things a little bit. And other people may watch and be like, no, he's an idiot. And you may be right. I may be. But yeah, it's on my list of one that I watched in 2025 where it's like, oh, yeah, sure.
So
If
my
they did a sequel, I'd watch it.
So mine, I've done this the last couple of years. I think Chad's done it. I can't remember if James has or not. I'm going to throw a ringer in here. One and the most, the most fun I had sitting and watching something this year that was an hour and a half. It was a documentary. I don't know what that says about me anymore. I'm of that age, I guess, but it was a documentary, and it was Downey wrote that about Jim Downey, or the great writer of Saturday Night Live. It's a Peacock original. If you haven't watched it, take the time. If you ever think of any great political sketch or anything where something just switches on a dime, it's every chance. Just like when we talked about the Twilight Zone, it's like if you have a favorite Twilight Zone episode, there's every chance it was written by three men: Charles Beaumont, Rod Serling, or geez, oh my God, why did I forget the other one's name? James, help me.
Oh, the father of that guy that wrote Bill and Ted,
Oh
co-wrote Bill
my
and Ted.
God, yes,
Matheson, Richard
Richardson
Matheson.
Matheson, RC's dad. It's one of those three. Not always, but there's a good chance, right? You could throw a rock and go,
Yep.
man, it's probably one of those. If there's a fantastic sketch that has survived all this time, especially if it has any kind of political or social bend to it, Jim Downey wrote it, or at least oversaw it. So if you don't know who that is, Google it. Google Jim Downey. There's some great interviews in it. And I just loved it as much as there was another documentary that I really wanted, and I may talk about it as an honorable mention or a little bit in a minute. I just had the best time with it. And if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it now on Peacock. I had it. And if you don't know who Jim Downey is, he's in a ton of, and I didn't realize this either, Paul Thomas Anderson movies. He's the one who says, Demon Seaman. That's Jim Downey. He's also in There Will Be Blood. Apparently through they're good friends. He's in a bunch of movies.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
So my third pick, and we're gonna cut off at three, right? And then we'll move on to two.
Yeah,
I
I got a
don't.
couple.
Just
I've
for
got
a
a couple honorables, I guess, but yeah, yeah.
I gotta do Good Boy.
I've got to watch it. It's on Shutter, right?
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't yet. It is so
Just so
good.
much, Chad.
I know, but Good Boy is so good. And it has one of the best endings in a movie that I've seen in a long time. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a ghost story told from the perspective of the dog.
It's not a
Uh,
zombie movie. For some odd reason, I thought it was a zombie film.
no,
Sorry.
it's not. Um, but yeah, and it's heart wrenching, especially what it leads to. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
Please.
it really is a solid film. Um, one of the and it's just a tragedy that it went straight to Shudder, because it should have got a theatrical release, and a lot more people I wish could see it. So,
Well,
but
it
yeah.
did get a limited theatrical release.
Did it?
Yeah,
I
because
think
it
so.
showed here around Lexington for a week.
Okay.
It was in theaters for a week around
Well, a
here.
week wasn't long enough. So yeah, Good Boy. I don't want to tell you all too much, just because if you haven't seen it, I recommended it to another person. They saw it and they agreed with me 100%. So, Good Boy.
All right, James.
Man, I'm having an issue, so I guess I'm gonna have to do an do a couple honorable mentions. But I, I I've liked them all, and the third one was no different. Wake Up Dead Man was a lot of fun. I
I still
mentioned
haven't
Knives
watched
Out.
it. Is it good? I know it's
You
on
may
your
not
list.
love it. You may not love it, but I no. Did you like the other two?
I love both of them.
If you
It's good.
like, if you like him playing that character,
Yes, of course.
and I would actually argue, I think the actor, and I'm blanking on it, Chad, you may know, but the actor that plays the priest in this is a perfect foil for him. Not a villain. He's not a villain, but he has to help him. And like, I appreciated the fact that it didn't become a Holmes and Watson type situation, because he thinks, you know, Benoit Blanc is arrogant. He thinks that he's
He is.
doing, yeah, yeah. And you sit there and be like, the priest isn't wrong, and that's why it really worked for me. And also the idea of, um, I appreciate the fact that and I know some people kind of Do we need a detective debating religion and stuff like that? I heard some people say, I don't know if he need to because he's an atheist and all that stuff. And there were people like, well, they didn't need to bring that up. I'm like, it makes sense. It works. It's fine. And by the way, I've never looked at a fictional detective or a fictional character and let it decide what I believe. Um, there's real people that do that for me. Anyway, so I had a lot of fun with Wake Up Dead Man. So if you enjoy the Knives Out series to date, um, it doesn't hit the fever pitch that there. Well, it may actually hit what the first movie did, but the first movie was the first to hit that for me, and so it's always going to be. I'm always going to be like, the first one's the best. But no, well,
Is
they
it
do
as
a
good
part.
as the second one?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, yeah. There's parts of it I like better than the second one. I
Because I
think it.
love the second. The fact that Edward Norton's an idiot. He just points
Well,
it out then.
and there is more of that in this one. And matter of fact, there's without giving anything away, Thomas Hayden Church plays one of the most uh he he's a sympathetic character. He's doing the best that he can, and honestly, when everything unfolds, you're like, he's the only person that's completely innocent.
Yeah.
And so that's without giving anything away.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, no, if you like the other two, Joe,
I
buy the
do. I
ticket,
do.
take the
I
ride.
just haven't found. I actually thought about. I was wondering if my 8-year-old could sit through it because he has not seen the other two, and I was trying to remember if there was able to watch those if he'd understand a murder mystery or not. So
Yeah, yeah, it has a lot of good twists. As a matter of fact, there's one or two times there's a great scene where Benoit Blanc tells the priest, "You lied to me," and 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 it makes perfect sense why the priest lied
yeah,
because he's trying to protect somebody.
yeah.
And it just works for me. And matter of fact, it's one where I'm like, I want to watch it again to see if I can piece together, like where because I know it's all there. I want to watch it again, knowing the ending and play with that because I've done that with the other two. So yeah, no, Wake Up Dead Man made my list. I got a couple honorable mentions, but that would be my top three.
Uh, man, mine is rough, but I don't know if it's really one of the top three movies I saw this year. But I somehow or another emotionally connected again to, and I'm glad I did because God knows I have not connected to a Del Toro film in a long time. But that father-son story and Frankenstein, him just being, no, I'm gonna just, that's what it's gonna be, and have a resolution to that. I don't know. It just worked for me. I've thought about rewatching it, and of course, there's so much out there to watch, and there's so many other things I haven't watched. We haven't even got to television yet, but I just really liked. It was nice to have a Del Toro film that I enjoyed, and it had been a minute because I didn't. Nightmare, is it Nightmare Alley?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie with some fantastic acting and some wonderful cinematography that you just see it coming from a mile away. Chad and I have both talked about Pinocchio. It's the same damn story he told so many times. So I just was so happy with Frankenstein. Is it everybody's cup of tea? Does he change some things? Yes, but him, I don't know. It just worked for me. Even there's certain scenes. Have you both watched it now,
no, I haven't. I haven't. That's one on my to watch list. I haven't got
Chad?
to yet. You can say whatever you want. I know the story.
No, but the scene when he's doing the demonstration, Chad, with a half the cadaver,
Yeah.
perfection.
Hmm.
There's other scenes, not so much. And the guy that
It's on my list for this year. Yeah, I just there was other movies that impacted me more. So
that father-son story just really got to me. And there's certain scenes in it that work so much it kind of overshadows the ones that don't work as well. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say much more about it, but I enjoyed it, Frankenstein. It was a nice return to something I wanted to watch by Del Toro because it'd been a minute. All right, so we're doing television shows now.
Can I throw out a few honorable mentions real quick
Of
for
movies?
film?
Oh, I have a couple of honorable mentions. Yes.
Yeah, let's do. And I'll just say these really quick and do a one sentence why. Weapons because it was something fun. I had
Weapons
fun in
was
the
so
theater.
much fun. I just
I
didn't
had
happen
fun.
to like it as much as Barbarians, but Weapons was a really good movie.
I'm one of the people I enjoyed Novocaine just because it's a fun action romance film,
Mhm.
I guess you'd say.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Um, and Sisu Road to Revenge, it's a one I took my son to because he loved the first one. It didn't feel as much fun as the first one, but I still had a blast. And if they make a third one, my butt will be in the seat. And then I have one documentary, and it did get a theatrical release, but it actually went theatrical and streaming at the same time on Apple. Deaf President Now. If you're not familiar with the Deaf President Now, I teach this in my courses, but this movie is a documentary, and it does. I was like, oh, I just need to tell people to watch it. It does it better than I could ever do. It's got a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, if ratings matter to you. But it's happened within my lifetime, showing my age a little bit here. In 1988, Gallaudet University, the first university in the U.S., meant only originally for deaf students, has a long history, dates back very, very old institution in the grand scheme of American higher education. Had never had a deaf president, and they appointed a president, and the students and faculty and other people went, "We deserve to have a deaf president. Why are we saying that we're a deaf institution when we've never had a deaf president?" It led to protests and arguably some people use the term riots. You can watch the documentary and say how you feel, but they actually managed to get the first deaf university president appointed in 1988. It's a fascinating documentary involving the people that were there and what happened. And it's again interesting to me because I didn't know that story till I started teaching the history of higher education. And I had the opportunity to visit Gallaudet University and see some of the artifacts and quote unquote remnants of that movement. Um, and so if you've never heard that story and it's on Apple Plus right now. Deaf President Now is a compelling documentary. And I've said more than a sentence, but I think that one deserved it because if you've never thought about that, pretty much the root of the argument was how can we say that we're an institution for X when you don't have X in your administration? There
Yeah.
you go.
Chad?
You go ahead. I want to see because I don't want to take a couple years. So you go ahead.
Well, one of mine is another documentary but I just happen to have is I Like Me, the John Candy documentary. It's
Yeah.
I still need to watch it.
it is extremely moving. The fact that you got to watch it if nothing else for Bill Murray starts kind of the documentary talking about he only ever did one bad thing. And then it's not till the end of the documentary when Bill Murray tells the story about what he did with Sidney Pollack. And you laugh because yeah, that's the only thing negative thing I could think of. And when you all hear you'll be giggling. It's John Candy. My kid loves John Candy. He got into it about sometime in the last year. We rewatched Uncle Buck and the Great Outdoors over holiday break again, and it's a good one. The oh shoot, Chad, my mind went blank. Life of Chuck is not
Life of Chuck. You said
Life
Life
of
with
Chuck.
Chuck.
Well, Life of Chuck is so close to the book that I think it hinders the movie a little bit. I'd be okay if they change stuff, and and the secret thing in the first part of the book isn't so secret in the movie because just the way it plays. But it's once again Mike. Oh gosh, what's his name? The guy that created all the shows for Netflix.
Oh my God. Why am I blanking on his name?
Um, I,
Uh,
I keep wanting to call him Mike Manola, but I know that's not his name. Uh,
Now that guy created Hellboy.
Yeah, he just has never. He's done things that I don't like as well as others, but he's never done anything bad.
yeah, again, this falls into the category of I don't know why so many people shit on this movie. Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan's never done anything bad, to my knowledge, that I've seen. Even his,
I would agree with that.
even his sequel to it wasn't Oculus, but whatever it was, that other sequel that's better than the original. If you go watch both of those, he did a better job. He's a good filmmaker. He's a good storyteller. Life of Chuck was a book that meant a lot to me, and yeah, I just enjoyed it a lot. My third one, the most fun I had, and I can't, and it's not so much. It shouldn't be the most fun I had. I can't believe they did it. This is not a great movie at all in any way, shape, or form. There's a couple that aren't great movies that I just had a good time with, but they somehow or another, Dan Trachtenberg made a kid accessible Predator movie that I didn't hate. And I, to this, to me, it's a genie out. I don't know how he did. I mean, I know I watched it. I watched Predator Badlands, but do you all understand? I don't. It never would have occurred to me to even try to do that, and he did it, and somehow the kid and I both were like, "Yeah, that was fun."
Mhm.
I just did it. Yep. Anyway, next.
I really like that, but I did too. But you know what made my list that because I really could prefer Predator's Killer of Killers. That made my list.
It is better. I'm telling you, I am giving it a shout out because that is such a to say that you're going to do that to make a movie that's accessible for multi ages and I won't hate it.
Yeah. And so you all mentioned everything. So for example, Frankenstein, Life of Chuck. Um, but what you didn't mention, and again, this is just me being, as you can tell, a DC person if you're looking at us on video. He's not my favorite character. When they said that they were going to start out the new DC universe with him, I was like, "Oh, you could go so many different ways." But I really did enjoy the Superman movie this year. Um,
I actually was talking to Joe about that.
I'm going to
Yeah.
rewatch it. It's a positive film.
yeah, I have been comic booked out, even though I am a huge comic book nerd. I love DC to death, but I'm like, uh, but I watched. I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed it, and then finally, um, I really enjoyed The Long Walk.
So, Chad, what did you think of Mark Hamill's performance?
It wasn't much to it.
It's one note, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But everyone else in it's really good.
Yeah. And I think that was a good, and I think there was a reason for that. They wanted to focus more on the people, the young men doing the walk versus the evil guy making them walk. So they wanted to make, but I mean, yeah, Mark Hamill's perform. It was just one note. He was just there.
And that's Francis Lawrence's best film.
Yeah.
I know people are going to come at me about Constantine, but what they love about Constantine are certain scenes in Constantine. I'm convinced of it.
Yes.
No, I love Constantine, but you're absolutely right. And by the way, it's my favorite scene still Peter Stormare. The end with Peter Stormare is the best.
Yeah. He's the best.
It is the best part, but they're going to come at me, but it's scenes in Constantine. It's not
Yeah.
the overall picture. I think
So,
it's Francis Lawrence's best movie, Long Walk, and it's a tough. I'll give them credit. I'm not trying to piggyback, but just as someone who liked they did. It's a tough movie to watch.
yes. And another one I'll just briefly mention, The Ugly Stepsister. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Boy, that's
but it's
fucked up,
rough.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's more fucked up than that's a lot more fucked up actually.
Yeah.
That's the other criticism I think I had of the Long Walk is there's just certain even though it's his best movie, I think he could have got more out of it. A little more of their agony, a little bit more of their, but I don't know. Maybe it was just I need to go rewatch it. But The Ugly Stepsister, I reviewed that for whew,
Yeah. It was something I really did enjoy it,
tapeworms,
though.
buddy.
Yeah. Oh
Tapeworms.
man.
I didn't know where it
Oof.
was going either. I kept waiting for it was like, well, this is a horror film. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who wants to start out with TV?
Um, I can if you want me to.
Yeah, if you want to start that way, if I steal
I
anybody's,
don't
or
have a
yeah,
ton.
I have.
I damn
Oh
sure
man,
ain't coming up with three.
I had a bunch. So leaving it to three is hard. But I will say Mercy for None.
Haven't seen it.
It's a Japanese television show on Netflix. Basically, it's about the Yakuza. Um, uh, and there's this one member who's kind of there's three factions. And there's one guy who is kind of like one faction's make it happen man. And he's doing everything he can to keep the peace. but then he is violently murdered. And his brother, who is a former gang member, who he's been crippled. He's just living out in the forest away from everybody. Finds out his brother died, and it's him basically steamrolling through a bunch of gangsters trying to figure out what happened to his brother. It's phenomenal. A lot of great performances in this TV show. I could not stop watching it. So, Mercy for None on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend checking it out.
Mine is something I mentioned a little bit last year, but I've loved it. I'm loving the second season, but okay, it is not a great show. I am going to preface this with it's not a great show, nor is it for everybody, although it's extremely popular, which is peculiar to me that it is, but it's extremely popular. I just love the hell out of Landman. I could not care less about most of the characters when Billy Bob's off the screen. But when Billy Bob's on the screen, or this year they added Sam Elliott as his dad, oh my God. I didn't know I needed Billy Bob and Sam Elliott in the same scene acting off of each other as father and son, which actually I don't think mathematically adds up, gentlemen. Does it? I think Sam's almost 80, but Billy Bob's almost 70.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's not, no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I haven't Googled it, but I was pretty sure. I'm telling you, when those two are on the screen, it is bliss. And I think part of it is just because of those and that and Billy Bob and he said in interviews it's the closest character to himself, and I believe it. I believe he just shows up and is himself, and it works just great. But as far as I base this on, I don't know if it's my favorite show, but it's not. I miss having a good B show, and they both of the Boneheads have heard me talk about this before. Like Justified was a good B show, right? Didn't have to think about it a lot. There's not a ton of metaphors, and there's not so many layers like The Sopranos or something else like that. It's just a good B show, and I enjoy that. And Landman is a good B show. Also, they added Andy Garcia. You guys ever seen Andy Garcia? He's never sucked in anything.
No.
He hasn't. I was trying to think the other day. I don't think he's ever don't get me wrong, he's in some shit. But isn't he another one of those great actors that's never sucked in anything?
Yeah, because there's one movie from I think, late 90s that's awful, but he plays two twins,
Oh, Still Big, Still Little, whatever it's called, something like that.
something like that. I really enjoyed him in it, but the movie's not that good.
It's directed by the guy that directed The Fugitive.
I did not know that.
Andrew something. Well, I think he also gave us the wonderful Keanu Reeves film Chain Reaction, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen too, about cold fusion with Morgan Freeman. I think. Google it. I may be wrong. I think it's Still Big, Still Little. I know what you're talking about, Chad. Yeah, I don't remember his performance. I just was trying to remember a bad Andy Garcia performance, and I can't think of one. So I will give Taylor Sheridan this when when he he swings for the fences with these great character actors and puts them in these shows, and it works. It helps. It elevates the material.
Well,
James,
you did Taylor Sheridan. I'll go with another known quality as far as a creator goes. That I just, I'm. It's so good, but it's so Vince Gilligan's Plurbius.
is it good? I have yet to watch it.
It is utterly compelling. Joe, I can't tell you if you like it or
Well, that's
not
what people say. It's and because it takes a
because
minute.
well, and every episode plays differently. So if you're not familiar with Plurbius, the way it was pitched to me actually is not what I discovered it to be. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Is that a very unhappy woman
Hmm.
basically discovers that she lives in a world of complete happiness and has to figure out what's wrong with people. Now, the actual plot to it is a lot more invasions of the body snatcher, but not. And I think that's why I have enjoyed the show so much is it does ask questions of if everybody was happy. So in the show, there's 12 people that aren't happy that are left. She's one of them. Our protagonist is one of the 12 people that aren't happy, aren't affected by this thing. Carol is her name.
Hmm.
Carol Struka. And she is not she's not because what happens is we get a signal, and this is the first 5 minutes of the first episode. You actually don't meet your protagonist for a little while. They get a signal from space and it's a signal, and they think, oh, it's like Morse code, but it's four rhythm, and they finally figure out, oh, it's the four different DNA strands, and they're like, why would you send out a DNA strand? So of course they try to replicate it in a lab. They expose it to different animals. None of it takes, but eventually it gets spread to humans. And effectively, what it does and this is all within the first episode. It's not much of a spoiler. It creates a hive mind where everybody's linked. So everybody's happy because everybody can access everything else. But there's 12 people that for whatever reason aren't infected, aren't taken. Now, people do die from this because they their bodies just can't take it. So something like 12 million people die instantly, and then over the course of episodes, more people die. And they also find out when they're near somebody that isn't happy, and that person becomes really angry, it causes them to have seizures. So she is angry. Her partner dies because she can't be absorbed. And so she is angry, she is furious. But why the show works is every episode's not the same. And every episode, you actually have to ask questions of is she right or is she wrong? I think it's the second episode has a great scene where she, because they're trying to just make her happy. They're trying this whatever has, and it has united all humanity. Like one of the other survivors, she finally says, I think it's the second episode, well, I want to meet the other people that aren't infected, at least the ones that can speak English. And so they say, oh, good, no, we'll let you have that meeting. And we're not going to watch you have it. We're going to let you have your privacy. And they bring all these people together. And she, of course, is like, we've got to stop them. They've taken over all of humanity. And one of them says, but there's no more racism. They're taking care of it. I mean, they're still human. They're just everybody is linked together now. So you can't hate something that you're linked to, or it's harder. There's no more suffering. There's no more
Mhm.
pain. They're taking care of everything. And when one of the people goes, and one of them even says, "My son is part of the system now. I want to be part of it. My son's in it. He's part of this society now. And look at how great. There's no war. There's no violence. There's plenty of food. We're taking care of things. They won't even hurt animals. Everybody becomes vegetarian because they will not inflict suffering on anybody. So why are they terrible? We're all united once. The only time in human history. And so it goes back and forth and it plays this game with you. Um, it is very much, it feels very Vince Gilligan on a
Mhm.
science fiction scale. It's that, okay, well, when is good justified? When is bad justified? Is she right for saying, yeah, but they're not human anymore because humans aren't meant to all be part of a hive mind? There's no alien force coming over. All it is they gave us a way to be all interconnected so we'd be peaceful.
Mhm.
And she can't handle that. And she is so used to being miserable that, not to do a cliche, but joy causes her pain.
Yeah.
And is she right? Is she wrong? And the answer to me is yes and no. I mean, it really is. And so it's one of the smartest non-action science fiction shows that has made it to air like this. And Vince Gilligan is all over it. And it's just, there's parts of it that are heartbreaking.
Well, Stephen King talked about it on Twitter, saying, he said Vince Gilligan says he doesn't know when or where the next season will come. And Stephen King says, I appreciate that, but for some of us, we're more because he loved it too. And so that is the one show this that I would have went out of my way to watch if I hadn't got so pissed at Apple trying to get rid of Apple that I would have picked Apple back up if I just wasn't so mad about the experience of trying to cancel my Apple subscription.
Hmm?
And truth, that's it. Because I want to go back and finish Slow Horses.
Yeah. No, but I
But
mean,
I could not. I had to cancel a credit card to get out of my Apple subscription. That's how bad the customer service was.
oh, I don't, and to be honest, I've never had to cancel it yet, because I'm sticking around for slow
And
horses.
they can scream operator error all they want. I had three different people walk me through to what am I doing wrong. I had someone at work try to do it.
Yep. No, it's, I mean, like I said, but
So I would love to watch it, if it wasn't on Apple.
Get a disposable Visa card. Just buy one. Do it. Anyway, I'm not telling you how to do it.
I know I don't mind paying for these things. It's just let me can't anyway. But never
But no,
mind.
no, it is really, like I said, it is. Nobody's watching it with me. Like this is not one that my wife said, "Hey, we should watch it." I actually tried to get other people to watch it, and my family was like, "Nope." But it's working for me. It's really because I think
This is different.
again, it's well, and it's I've heard, and that's why I said different episodes feel different because I mean there is a way where they're so invested in her being happy,
Hmm.
like as an invasion force, which is how she views them. God, they're terrible because they're just like, what do you like? Everybody, because there's a hive mind, everybody is like, oh, Carol, what do you need, Carol? Hi, Carol, how can we? There's a great scene in the first episode when it first happens where all the TVs are dead, and when she turns on her TV, the person on the TV goes, "Hi, Carol, you're the only one that needs to see this because the rest of us are connected." I mean, and her through the national alert system
Hmm.
because they know she's not part of the hive mind yet, and there's and they finally said, "We're trying to find a way to get you part of it." I don't want to be part of it, but everything's good in it. There's no like we're not aliens. All the alien signal did was make us all connected, and she doesn't want that. And it's again, it just plays out on so many different levels. So Plurbius is the one that is playing with my mind, and I'm having fun with it. To be honest, because you could argue there's some episodes where it's like, oh, it is like a zombie in some ways because everybody knows everything. So you lose your individuality because I can access the mind of a surgeon. Why would I need to talk to a surgeon?
Hmm.
Why would I? But at the same time, it has a little bit, a good parallel, Joe. It has a little bit of that Last Man on Earth feel to it.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it just has this idea of I Am Legend would be the other name that I was looking for. The Richard Matheson version,
Hmm.
where is she now the outdated concept? She
Right.
is the monster. She is the one that is attacking them with her negative emotions. So I'm having Plurbius would be my number one where I'm like, I don't know where it's going, but I've had fun with it.
All right. Chad, are you next?
Can we do a device where it cuts James off after 2 minutes?
No. Go. He's just kept going. I know.
I'm sorry.
No.
I know nobody likes to hear what I say, but Plurbius is probably the one we'll talk the most about. I'll keep it short on everything else. Sorry, Chad. Jeez. I get
Just playing.
excited. No,
I'm
I get
just
excited.
playing.
Hold on. I get excited about something and you point out that it sucks. No, it's fine. It's fine. Your hatred of everything I hold dear is
I don't
fine.
have Apple. I can't say it sucks. But you know what doesn't suck? Oh my God, I'm loving it so much. The Mighty Nine on Amazon Prime.
I don't know that one.
It is not
No.
ended yet, but it is almost. It is from one of my favorite creators, Critical Role, which is a D&D based company. Um, I really love their other show on Prime,
Dicks
The
and
Legend of
Dongs,
Critical Role.
D and
No,
D.
you said D&D and he of course
Oh,
went to that strip club name that he used to go to.
mm.
I did go to Dicks and Dongs, and you can't prove it with those pictures.
It's not so much that you went there, it's that when I pulled up the tax records, your name is on it as owner and operator.
Everybody needs some help from time to time, and I'm more than happy to support and lift up as many dicks and dongs as possible.
To
They
hold
needed
them,
scaffolding.
to hold them and support them in their times of need.
I'm here for the dicks and dongs.
So their other show, The Legend of Vox Machina, I really like that as well.
That I've heard
Um,
of.
yeah, it's really good. It's one of my favorite shows, and this is becoming like one of my all-time favorite shows. Basically, it's these group of different. It's fantasy, of course, but it's these different individuals who have their own magic, their own abilities. There's a goblin who's a thief. There's a magician who is does things with dirt. There's a pirate who finds a magical sword that allows him to kind of be like from a Cthulhu like monster. But the best part about all of these people, they are incompetent as hell.
Yeah.
They're just stumbling through this adventure. Um, they don't know what they're doing. They're trying their best, and the one guy who might be able to help to be is going through some kind of crazy existential crisis that I don't want to tell too much about. And all he can do is get through the day. It's a great show. I really have loved every episode. I look forward to it. The fact that it's been off the air for 2 weeks is killing me. Um, it's one of those shows. I look forward to the next episode. So Mighty Nine.
For my next one, I don't really have one. I kind of shot, and we're going to do a Stranger Things episode because I do have a lot of thoughts about that, so I won't hold off on that. But I will do something of you all. We talked about not being negative. Do either one of you watch The Bear?
No.
Okay, I like The Bear a lot, but it is in we're in season 4, season 5, and I need something to happen. I finished watching this season, and it's once again extremely well acted. Has one of Chad's favorite character actors, mine too, Oliver Platt in it, absolutely killing it every time he shows up. But everybody in that show kills it. The acting's great, and there's always at least one episode that's an hour long that's right around episode 6, 7, or 8, somewhere right around there, where it is just has like some huge star. Jamie Lee Curtis has been on there, a few others, and it doesn't even have that this season. So I still enjoyed it, but it was some of these shows, by the time they get to season 2 or 3, it's a little bit of a chore to set through, and that's one of them. And there's a lot of those. So I don't really have another one. James.
I've got a few more, and actually, one that I enjoyed just because oddly enough, I've mentioned Vince Gilligan last time. But if you took Breaking Bad and was like, let's take away all this serious commentary, all this decisions about are you leaning into darkness, and let's make it a farcical comedy, I think what you would end up with would be a complete mess. But if you did it well enough to maintain my attention, you would probably get Deli Boys. Either of you watch Deli Boys?
I've never heard of it, so you just mentioned it.
Chad, his mouth is moving, but I don't know.
I started it, got really into it, and then it's one of those shows where something distracted me and I haven't been able to go back to it. So yeah, I agree with you. I just haven't had a chance to finish it.
So Deli
What's it
Boys, the
on?
plot, it's Hulu or Disney Plus.
Disney Plus?
Yeah, yeah. So Deli Boys it's an American comedy series created by Abdullah Saeed. Abdullah Saeed is a creator, but the plot to it is two spoiled, wealthy Pakistani American. Their father started a convenience store that became a chain, and that's where they think they got all their wealth and all of that stuff. And these two guys are, to put it nicely, idiots. They're different types of idiots. One is business smart but can't function in the real world. The other one's uh, pretty much Blanche from the Golden Girls. Um, and when their father dies, however, they find out that they don't necessarily inherit what they thought they were inherit, but they also find out over the course of a couple days that really what their grandfather was doing was running drugs through these convenience stores.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to they with the help of their aunt and their uncle, I think it's their uncle, who don't like one another and think they're incompetent, they have to try to make this work. So they get assigned one store to run and do it, and then they find out more and more, and then there really are like they're idiots that are well intentioned that are also trying to get into the drug business, and that sounds like it shouldn't work as a show, especially as a comedy.
That sounds like
But
it should work great as a comedy.
dude, there are episodes. There's times that it's physical humor. That there's a part where they have to kill a guy and they think he's already overdosed. And then he breaks out, he runs down the steps because they live above the convenience store they have to run. And he runs out in the street, he gets hit by a car and they think he's dead and he's not. And it is a comedy of best intentions for the worst reasons, also meeting everything that can go bad will. And Deli Boys is one I didn't hear a lot of people talk about, and I've just had fun with it because it is really, I mean, some of the arguments between family members feel very, very real. I don't care about your nationality, your origin, or whether or not you run drugs. These are types of arguments like you're letting down your father. You're letting down your this. Oh, you can't do that. You're making the family look bad. All of these things are things that I think we sometimes encounter if you have any family around you. And it is coming back for a second season. And next season, Fred Armisen's joining the cast, which I want to know how that's going to work out. But yeah, yeah. So it is a comedy about drug running through convenience stores. And if it's, like I said, it's on Hulu or Disney Plus. Um, and it really is just a great cast. And it's really, I mean, I wouldn't watch it with your kid, but I had a fun time with it. I'd probably let my kids watch it too, but I'm a terrible father. And they're also teenagers now.
Okay.
So yeah, Daily Boys. See, I didn't talk as long this time, Chad.
4
Cheese, Chad.
minutes. 4 minutes.
Was that less time than last time?
I didn't time it.
Oh,
Oh,
it was definitely less time than last time, simply because I watched Gone with the Wind during the last one.
So since Joe
yeah,
didn't
and you
have
cheered for the wrong side.
since Joe didn't have
You're
a pick,
right. Fuck Scarlet.
since Joe didn't have a pick, I'm going to use his pick to talk about two shows. Last Samurai Standing on Netflix.
Nope, you don't get a pick. I'm just
Really
keeping mine and dying with it.
Really enjoyed it. Takes place in feudal Japan. A
I mean,
man.
they got out of it. It wasn't too feudal.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Any whoozleby. There's a guy who was a great warrior who they were defeated by a modern age army using Gatling guns and what have you. He's distraught. He's basically living in poverty because the new government has not allowed anybody to be a samurai anymore. His family is dying of cholera. And he gets an invitation to compete in this contest that he doesn't know what's going to happen. He gets there, and basically they say, all you people who decided to join this, you now have to kill each other. And at each progression, you have to have so many kills before you can enter. There is no getting out of it once you start. If you don't meet the requirements, you're killed. So it's him going through this process of competing in this tournament. So I really liked Last Samurai Standing. It ended on a cliffhanger. I hope we get a season 2. And then for Joe's pick, I do want to talk about
I'm going to
real
die
quickly.
with my pick.
No,
Yes.
Kevin Bacon's The Bondsman.
Oh,
I really enjoyed that show. It was just a goofy.
it is goofy.
Every week, something happened. He basically plays a bail's bondsman who is horribly murdered, and then Satan brings him back and says, "You have to work for me to collect souls."
Yes.
And that's what he's doing. They're kind of not that intelligent, but he does a good job. And it's about him hunting demons and dealing with family life, even though he's dead and working for the devil.
I got a question though about it.
It has a lot of Brimstone-esque elements to it, which is one of the reasons I like it.
Just not as interesting. I've got a question though about it. Okay. Why
Yes, by the way, this is Joe. I say something, he puts my side comment saying, no, it's wrong, but go ahead.
I never said it was wrong. God
It's
damn
not
it.
interesting.
Listen to a second. No, it's not interesting. But
it is interesting. That's why
I
picked
reviewed it for Scarefest. No, it's a bunch of other shows we've already been done before. Why do these lead actors have to have their singing career moved into the show?
I don't know. That irritated me as well. I don't
See?
understand it.
I was going a different way with that.
But I liked everything else in the show.
Yes, why do they have to do that? It's and he's done it more than once. And it only works in that Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Don't know.
Oh, wait. The Christmas special. I got
The
you.
Christmas special one. That it works there because I guess he's playing him, but I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things for me. It's like, oh, you have to put your singing career in your show. And he's not the only one. There's a bunch. We could do a show about that.
All right, James, you got another pick?
I have a couple more, but the other one I want to talk about, and this will just set Joe off again, but such is life. Um, Murderbot. Anybody? Murderbot?
Never saw
It's on
Murderbot.
Yeah.
Apple. I don't have it.
So
Why would that set me
Murderbot.
off?
Yeah, I thought you might get mad at Apple again. Murderbot
I could get
is
mad at Apple again.
yeah, maybe I wouldn't have to talk so much if I could get through my stuff without
I
having
doubt that.
Joe's rage about murder about Apple. Murderbot is based on a book series. And I want to give a shout out to the book series because if you're a fan of the show and didn't know this, you should watch it. Martha Wells, credit to science fiction, especially women writing science fiction, because it's still seen as an overly male genre. So I want to give some credit where it's due. Wrote All Systems Red, which is what the show is based on. There are now, I think, 8 books in the Murderbot book series, but none of them are called Murderbot. But if you're not familiar with the plot to the show, is basically are these robots. They're not really robots. They're kind of cybernetic. They do have human tissues in them because that's how they work. But they have a governor, is what it's called, that controls what they can do. So if you're assigned to security, you can only do security stuff. Of course, you can't hurt humans. And the murder bot is one that becomes somewhat self-aware. He nicknames himself Murderbot sarcastically, but does he actually want to murder humans? Not really. He wants to watch soap operas because he's fascinated by them, and so he uses it, but he can't let them know that he's defeated his governor, that he's rewired himself effectively. I'm summarizing this very poorly, but that's basically the plot. He wants to watch trash TV because that's what he finds fascinating once he has free will,
How
but he
many
has
episodes
to.
are there of this?
There's 8. Is the
Okay.
first season. It's renewed for a second season already. Alexander Skarsgård plays the murder bot. Um, and then it has, if you're a fan of the Shield series, Clark Gregg's in it. Jack McBraier's in it. John Cho is in it. It's got a great cast. But basically, it's about this media obsessed. And the thing in the book, it's soap operas. In the television series, he's just media obsessed. He's a private security robot, a cybernetic organism. Um, he nicknames himself Murderbot just because he can, because he finds out he can have free will, but he has to hide all of that from the people around him. Um, and he starts to, and they of course think he's, whatever. So they keep assigning him to these very dangerous missions, but because he has free will, he doesn't want to do it. But at the same time, he also can't say no because he can't let them know that he's beat his system. And so he becomes, as the show goes on, he becomes increasingly interested in interacting with humans, even though he initially struggles with that. But he also gets very angry that they have weaknesses that he doesn't have. So it's again, it's another show that explores what does it mean to be human, what does free will actually mean, and how you could make an argument, is the show really actually a commentary? How much do we actually do because we're afraid to actually have people discover what we would do if we didn't have things forced upon us.
Yeah.
I myself would be doing a lot less of a lot of other things, but so yeah. If you've not seen Murderbot, it's worth checking out. Chad, you got anything?
Still 3 minutes. You're doing good, James. You're doing good.
Do what I can. I try to make you happy.
No, my last one is Castlevania Nocturne.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
Is
it's
it
a
as good as the other one?
yep.
It's
Um,
yeah. I watch. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
it was
The other
it's
one.
really good. I'm looking forward to season 2. So Castlevania Nocturne. So do we want to wrap with talking about what we're looking forward to next year?
Can I do one quick additional television show just to say
Yeah.
if you're wanting to see it, the good news is it got what the good news if you're looking for a quick watch, it got canceled in one season. I know, Chad. Now, did I already say 2 minutes? That's a lie. I just
No, it
started.
was 2 seconds. Go.
Um, Duster. Anybody watch Duster besides me?
James, I did not care for it, man. I'm sorry. I was not sad when it got canceled.
What is
Well,
Duster?
Duster, Joe, you would like. I think you might like it more than Chad, and it's not great. I give it credit for trying to be a throwback to something that was. Duster is about the first African American black woman FBI agent teaming up with who Josh Holloway as a talented getaway driver. It's set in the 1970s. He's just a getaway driver with a fast car. It very much is a throwback to other things. And the crime syndicate boss they're trying to take down is Keith David.
Where's this at?
HBO Max.
HBO
Oh,
Max.
yeah, I haven't watched it.
It stars Greg Grunberg, your favorite person. I don't know, he is in it. It's Chad's right. There's the reason I made this my last one I want to do an honorable mention for. It's not that it works on all cylinders. I just give it credit for trying to be a throwback to a crime car picture
Ugh.
where he's a getaway driver. He's done terrible things. She's an FBI agent that thinks she has him pinned, and they're going to take down Keith David's crime boss. And it's Chad's right. It's not perfect, but I couldn't stop watching it till it was done. Am I going to rewatch it? Maybe not. But I had to keep going because I was like, there's just not been. We have movies like Baby Driver. This is not Baby Driver. They're all sleazy. The FBI is sleazy. I mean, it is. I can see what Chad's saying because I don't know if I'd tune into a second season, but I had to finish the first season once I started it.
Well, you're not going to. It got canceled.
Well, I know I don't have to worry about watching the second season. I
Keep
agree,
rubbing it in there,
but
James. Talking
but
about your losses.
that's fine. Would you like to point out that Brimstone got canceled too,
No, that one
or
that
Lone Gunman? I didn't
that
get. I enjoyed the Lone Gunman. It was funny.
that makes me sad.
So anyway, but yes, that's just an honorable mention because I obviously we hadn't seen it before, and since it got canceled, as Chad loves to point out, we're not going to see it again. But it was if you wanted a throwback car chase picture, Joe, you do have HBO Max, right, Joe?
Yeah, Ivan. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, check out Duster. You may hate it, and then you can come back and tell me that I was an idiot for making it my fourth mention. But it's just something I hadn't seen in a long time, and yeah, it was something to watch, and so I give it some credit. All right.
All right, what y'all looking forward to next year?
I don't know. I haven't. I was actually pulling it
all
up right
right.
now of things that are coming. I have no.
Here you go. Well, first off, Gore Verbinski's return to directing. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Really looking forward to that in February. Send help. Sam Raimi's return to film.
I hope it's better than the trailer.
The trailer is not. The trailer leaves things to be desired. I
Yeah.
agree with you there. But Sam Raimi always pulls something out. So
I agree. Even if the movie is subpar, it's usually still better because he's the star.
Ready or Not 2, here I come.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that. Evil Dead Burn.
Yes, but Dell, do they have a actual release date time for that?
Oh, it says July 24th.
Okay, cool.
And then just for me, I am 100% sure it's going to suck. But the fact that they have been saying it's going to come out every year except for the last 5 years, the fact that we may actually get Masters of the Universe this year.
I saw that.
So here's hoping. They have a cast. They have filmed scenes. But again, I have no hope that this movie will be good, but I am looking forward to it.
So Chad mentioned a couple of mine. I did want to double check something, and then I forgot that the one I'm probably the most looking forward to is Star Wars, the Grogu and Mandalorian movie.
Yeah.
For me, I've enjoyed it. I want to keep it going. I actually would have been happy if they just kept the series going, but
Yeah, that's my biggest criticism is they should have just let the TV show go.
I understand they want to do a movie, and the trailer looks really good.
And then also not tied in all the other stuff, just had them going. But anyway.
Right. James?
I'll start with some TV shows I'm looking forward to, and I'm amazed Chad didn't mention some of these. Lanterns. The more I see of it,
James,
the more I'm looking forward to that.
I forgot Lanterns comes out this year.
I'm looking forward to Lanterns. There's a couple other ones that I'm looking forward to. Starfleet Academy, I'm looking forward to because it's Star Trek. So I'm going
and it's Paul Giamatti as the
Paul
villain.
Giamatti.
Is he going to play the villain?
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't know that, dude? I've already seen
No,
like
I don't know anything
images of
about
him.
it. No,
He's
no.
he's full tilt and alien and whatnot.
Oh, but he loves that. He talks about that was one of the best things was when he was in the Planet, and he is one of the best characters in the Planet of the Apes. Tim Burton's Planet. He's the
Yeah.
highlight of that movie, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
He tells a story about his agent. It's like, will you be under this makeup? No, he almost fired his agent. It's like, no, go get me that role.
And out of the Seven Kingdoms, because it's actually based on. I know some people love the current series that's on House of the Dragon, and I'm not knocking that. But Night of the Seven Kingdoms is based on George R. R. Martin's novellas, which tell the rise of Targaryens and whatnot. I mean, the Targaryens are already there, but th that show goes into that. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, I I did not know about this till I started researching for this episode. Did y'all know we're getting a Bird series based on the 1989 movie?
I saw something about it a while back, but I never didn't know if that was true, if it's not. I didn't go all the way into it.
The Burbs features new parents Samira and Rob who move into his suburban childhood neighborhood, but when a mysterious stranger, Justin Kirk, purchases a creepy house across the street where a young woman went missing years before. It is The Burbs. It's going to be on Peacock. As far as movies that I'm looking forward to, I'll admit it, Avengers Doomsday will obviously make my list.
Oh,
But
Have you watched the
James.
trailer? I haven't watched the trailer yet.
It's all just vignettes with the
it's been yet so far.
instead of focusing on the new team members, it's all, hey, these are all the people we're bringing back.
I do have an interest
imagine
speaking
why.
in things that I know probably won't live up to my expectation, but I kind of do want to see Mercy. The Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson. If you all have seen the commercials for it, it's Timur. I'm gonna mess his
Yeah.
name up, but it's a sci-fi thriller where he creates a system that can solve, where basically AI is used to solve or to
Mhm.
hold trials, so there won't be a bias, and then he's accused of killing his wife. I'm looking forward to that one. Um, oh shoot, what's the other one? I'm
I have
blanking.
one that I've missed if you want a
Go
second.
ahead if you want to go ahead, and then
Silent
I'll.
Night 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
Violent Night 2 because oh my gosh, Richard Harris's son. Oh God, what's his name? The great
Oh
character actor
yes, you're right.
from Mad Men. He's the bad guy in it, and I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about how much fun he had doing it.
well, that's good. Yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about, and his name is escaping me because he's such a
Ugh.
good actor.
If and by the way,
Chernobyl.
yes, yes. Here. This is shout out to Michael Rosenbaum's Inside You. Check it out. He tells some great stories about Richard Harris's father.
Yeah, I've seen some clips. Yeah. Um, so James mentioned
Garrett
Green.
Harris. Sorry.
Yeah,
Jared, yep, there you go.
James mentioned Green Lanterns, which I'm kicking myself in the ass. I forgot that was. But you know what else? All three of us have forgotten.
What?
Disney's bringing back the Muppet Show.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So that's me.
I know that
This.
that's just like this. I know.
Ugh,
Like they have screwed. Other than the Jason Segel Muppets, they have screwed up. Well,
every single attempt.
yeah, Muppets Most Wanted has its moments, but yeah, but everything else has been just garbage. So come on, get it right this time.
Every single attempt.
The ones I forgot real
Oh, the
quick.
Electric Mayhem show. I really enjoyed that.
I did too. Um, the movies I forgot, and I don't know. I forgot. I want to see the Odyssey. I want to see the
Yeah, I
Odyssey.
want to see it too, but it's not like it's something that's burning in me.
I prefer Armand Desante's version.
Good for you, Chet. And Werewolf, Eggers film.
No, their
Werewolf.
wolf, their castle.
Why are you talking about that? Thought you wanted to.
I'm just curious to see what the hell it is.
Yeah,
It
I'm sure
doesn't
it won't be
matter.
what you think it is.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter though. You know what I mean? And he's never let me down to where I'm like, God, I wasted my time.
no,
But you know what? It'll be better than
what?
that last werewolf movie we.
Which one?
I don't know the one with the chick from Ozarks. Uh,
Oh, the Wolfman?
Wolfman. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you talking about Werewolf with the Frank Grillo that's on
No,
the Hulu?
I really want to watch that, but I haven't made
It's
myself.
okay. There's like okay. I reviewed it. It's not good.
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
think it
I
would be.
enjoyed 20 minutes of it, and we've had the director Stephen We've had him on the show.
Okay.
20 minutes of it, Chad. It's fun.
I didn't know I didn't know the director was somebody we had on the show. I
Yeah,
didn't know
Stephen
who.
Miller. Isn't it
Yeah, I
Stephen
didn't know that
Miller?
was Stephen
Yeah, yeah,
Miller.
yeah, yeah. It's his movie. 20 minutes of that movie's fun. Now it's an hour and a half, and you are going to watch it, and in the middle of it, you're going to be like, "Oh my God, that was ingenious how he cut days where he didn't have to have the actors there that much, and he could just cut to those close-ups and go." You'll know exactly what I'm talking about once you watch it. Good for him for saving some money on that low budget.
Oh, by the way, I've already said I'd see Avengers. I'll also see the new Spider-Man movie. And just for you all, there's not even a plot summary out. There may not be a plot, but I will see Super Troopers 3.
Mhm. Well, it's like I didn't even mention Supergirl or
My
what's the
wife
other?
really wants to see that, which I was like, oddly enough, that was her takeaway. She was like, Superman was okay because we watched it. And she was like, it was okay. She goes, but it did make me really want to see Supergirl.
I need to go back and rewatch it. But like I said, I rewatched The Flash this weekend. I enjoyed it more than I did the first time. I wonder if I'll enjoy it. I liked Superman. I liked that it was upbeat. I wonder if I enjoy it more the second time. I don't know.
You think you'll end up seeing the Minions 3, Joe?
Yes.
Shh.
The
Toy
Rise
Story
of
5.
Gru, the second one's actually pretty good.
I
That's actually that and the first are my two favorite of those movies. The Rise of Gru, the
By
one
the
that takes
way,
place in the 70s.
one last yeah. Um the other one that I was on the fence about seeing, but as more of the cast gets named, I'm more interested in. I know some people will be
Don't
pumped
say
by
Street Fighter.
no, I know some people are pumped about what is it? We're up to Scream 7 now, and I
Oh,
know certain people who watch
it's
our
Panic
show
Room.
are excited by that.
Have you seen the trailer? It's Panic
But
Room too.
no, but you know what? I'm actually more interested. Scary Movie 6. And I'll be honest, my interest in Scary Movie 6 went up when I saw that Chris Elliott was involved.
Well, okay. You got me there. I still probably won't watch it. Well, yes, I will. Who am I kidding? I have to
I mean,
review
you'll
something every
eventually
week for
see it.
Scarefest. Yes, who am I kidding? Who am I
Um,
kidding?
but yeah, no, I'll see Scary Movie 6 because I actually rewatched the first one and I realized um that the first two are different than I remember them.
Well, I thought Chad and I think talked about this a while back. We really love that opening with James Woods, a scary movie too, and I rewatched it and I was like, oh, I didn't laugh at any of that. So
But I'll
here
almost
we
watch
are.
I'll almost watch anything with Chris Elliott at this point because he always makes me laugh. I don't know why, but he had since Get a Life. So
All right, to end the show, can I ask one last question? Since I
sure.
asked at the beginning and I'll ask at the end. I actually have an answer for this one, but I'm curious. If there's one thing you don't want to see ever again in movies, what would it be that you don't want to see ever again this year? You know how we've talked about like we don't want to ever see this story told, or if there's one thing in movies or TV you never want to see again, what would it be in 2026?
I have an answer for this, and it goes back to something actually I mentioned to you earlier, related to something we're going to talk about on a future episode as well. But I've realized, and I realized this about 10 years ago, and it keeps happening, um, to a lesser extent. But I think I'm okay with people not killing off legacy characters anymore.
Yeah.
Like it used to be a big thing. It was just, oh, well, that the actor's getting too old to play them or blah 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 blah. So we'll just kill that character off. And it wasn't only in books, but let me give you an example of this. And it's actually one of the first
I'll
time I had
say
a
Start timing him.
this is the
uh
Optimus. This is the Optimus Prime effect.
sort of. I wrote a letter back. There used to be these things called magazines,
You
kids,
wrote
and
several letters to the editor.
I actually it's one of the things that I did. I wrote a letter to the editor because they were like, we want to know your thoughts on what's going on, and so it was during the period, and Joe won't know about this because he's not a real Star Wars fan because he wouldn't have read the novel where this happened. But they killed off Chewbacca.
Yeah.
They killed off Chewbacca in the Star Wars novel. This is before we'd ever knew if we'd ever get another Star Wars movies that featured Chewbacca. Um, and in Highlander, they killed off Connor McLeod and had an Adrian Paul movie and stuff like that. And they were and killed off Captain Kirk, obviously, in Star Trek
What? When did
Generations.
that happen?
And spoilers, sorry, spoilers. But the big part of that, and it's one of the few times they were like, "You want to know my thoughts?" I'm like, can we just have one hero I grew up with watching as a kid live? Like this one. Chewbacca got killed by a moon. A moon crushed Chewbacca to death. That's actually how the novel goes. Double check me. Um, I'm okay with that not happening anymore. Like if the care, I mean, if it's part of the story, if it's actually organic, but it just seems like, I mean, I went back and watched Highlander Endgame, and I'm like, I get it. Christopher Lambert, it's hard to say he's immortal when he first played the role in his late 20s and he's now 50.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You can't, but at the same time, just okay, follow another immortal for a while. We don't have to see every character that we grew up watching killed off. So when they kill off Chewbacca, and I think I'm okay with that. That's not to say I'm not being a sap. If it makes sense to kill a character, kill the character. But it seems like if the only real reason for killing the character is that actor doesn't want to play that role anymore, or I don't
Just
know. I mean,
recast.
I'm tired of that stuff. I'm just killing a character because the actor's getting too old or whatever. Nah, just don't do the movie. Just do it as an animated series or something. I don't know. There you go. That's the one that came to mind.
Do you have an answer for it?
Me?
Yes.
Oh man, it's hard. It is so hard.
You want more time?
Yeah, you go, because I don't know if I'm gonna come up with a good one.
I don't want to see, and I know it'll happen. I know the business. I understand they have to put butts in seats in the theaters. And James and I, Chad had to go put together some stuff, and James and I hung out a little bit after his daughter's birthday party today. And congratulations, James. But I am, I understand the business. I understand movies are dying, and that's okay. You know, life happens. But I am so tired because most of them are just pointless of these live action remakes that are almost the same movie as the animated ones. I
But
just,
told worse for some reason.
if they were told worse, it's like that Lilo and Stitch that straight up looks like it was made for streaming, which it was, and then they released it and it was $1 billion. And I haven't, and you know what? Maybe How to Train Your Dragon. My kid wasn't crazy about the live action one. He gave me a review of it. They watched it at school. I haven't watched it. I can't speak about it, but I know I can't stop it. I know why they do it. I get the business side of it. I am not saying these are evil people. These people need to make money. But do you all need another live action remake of an animated film?
No, I don't need another one.
Because they're cash grabs.
Hmm.
Like, did anybody and some of them and a lot of them don't work. Does anybody? I still haven't watched the Snow White one. Chad, you said it was unwatchable.
It is unwatchable. It is horrid.
I don't see how it can be any worse than that piece of shit Beauty and the Beast that made $6 billion a few years ago.
Then you know what, Joe, go watch Snow White and tell me that.
I I thought that was dreadful.
Go watch Snow White.
I don't want to see
You'll
that.
you will find worse. Trust
Chad,
me.
you have an answer now? I gave you a whole extra minute.
Yeah. And this is coming from a guy who's a comic book nerd who loves Star Wars. But in terms of all these movies, can we just not have everything interconnect?
Yeah, I don't
I
agree.
just want movies. I don't want to know that in order to see movie A, I have to go see all these other movies just for one little hint at a plot point. It's 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 insane. The movies are supposed to be fun, not I have to do homework before I watch this movie. And like I said, the biggest I mentioned this earlier, but Star Wars is the biggest one. I'm like,
Yeah, more than Marvel.
Marvel is bad, but Star Wars,
I don't
like
know.
for example, The Mandalorian, the fact that they had to tie in, they couldn't just have the Mandalorian series. They had to tie in all the other Star Wars, and then they had to connect it to Boba Fett. None of that had to happen. They could have just told their own stories.
The Boba Fett one doesn't bother me as bad because they're both. I actually kind of like that one.
But yeah, no, I'm just tired of all the interconnecting, especially with Marvel. Like, I wish they could. I don't understand how they flop so hard with all these other characters because they've. But now instead of focusing on how can we improve this, they're like, no, we're just going to bring everybody back and then interconnect all that. I'm done with all that. It is too exhausting.
One last one. If you don't, if just one, since you took my show, multiverse, time, sprank, dope, done. We've done it. It's done.
Yeah,
I like
It connects to what you're
multiverses.
talking about, though, Chad.
yeah.
we've done it. Yeah, it was fun. The
Well,
first,
no, I
like the
agree. Now,
Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, cool. We brought them all back, but
Don't get me started on the Fantastic Four about the fact that
I
they're in
kind
this.
of like that Fantastic Four movie.
I
well, so here's my thing
and
about
so did
that.
a lot of people. I
Yeah, my
couldn't
kid
get.
liked it a lot
I
too.
know, and so did
He watched
James.
it. Yeah.
I just could not. I didn't care for anybody in that film.
Here's the thing about that. I will agree with you on this, Joe. I think like Marvel and DC both. I mean, from the comics, have long had multiverses. I do agree with you that a lot of other things are starting this multiverse argument. I think Welcome to Derry even had that little bit
Oh
of,
my, I
oh,
don't,
multi, and I'm like,
don't.
we don't need.
Ugh.
I think I agree with that part. Like to me, Marvel and DC, I mean,
Well,
what the
Chad did
night?
Star Wars, and I said Marvel. Shit, they do the shit out of Stephen King about it.
Yeah,
Well, that's
They've
what
done it for him for years.
and the fact that they turned it into somebody who could see different. He can see different time zone, like and I'm like,
Stranger Things,
uh,
R-rated Stranger Things.
And so anyway, I agree. So I will agree with you there. Like for me, Marvel and DC, it's part of something I always grew up with. Like those were multiverses to begin with. So that to me is expected. But I do agree that now it seems to be like even sitcoms have multiverses, and I'm like, nah, I'm tired. I'm good. So I agree with that. By the way, Joe, I want to say one more thing before we close up, and it echoes exactly what you said. You made the comment about movie theaters dying. Did y'all see earlier today, or it hit the news cycle today, I should say. It may have been a couple days ago, where Leonardo DiCaprio said that he I don't know if he says he believes or he's afraid. I can't remember his wording, but that the movie going experience is becoming like jazz clubs. Like jazz is not the mainstream media. There's still a few jazz clubs left, and they get huge attention by people who want that experience.
And they're big in big cities.
Yeah,
A
but that
small town can't support it.
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, by the way, there used to be a place called the Jazzman's Cafe that was a restaurant and jazz club in Winchester, Kentucky. I went there once. You know why I went there once?
Because it
It
closed.
closed. And so I think that as I read that, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I still think, and that's one of my back and forths when I do hear people, as we have done, and I include myself in this because I've critiqued a bunch of stuff tonight about movies I loved and movies I didn't. But it's one of the other things that I do want to say, like, let's I'll use Wicked as an example. My daughter loves Wicked. It's not made for me, but
oh
I'm
man,
so glad.
that was the worst movie I've seen this year.
I am so glad it's making money because that's butts and seats.
Well, Lucas
And
and Spielberg just said that more than a decade ago, that the movie theater experience will just be for big tent pole films.
hmm,
I mean, they're not wrong. You'll pay a premium ticket price for that. It's just like Stranger Things. We were talking about it earlier. I'm sure that was a wonderful experience. It'll be for things like that, like oh, the finale, and you get to watch it with a bunch of people. But to find a 5 or 10 or even a $20 million movie that's not a horror film, that's just some movie about a person who does a thing. I'm not trying to be,
no, no, I
but
mean,
serious, just like a little thing, like Breaking Away. It's about about bicycling in Indiana.
yeah, no, well, and I'll
And
be
and it
honest,
makes and it makes X amount of dollars that year and makes a profit and the studio's happy and people that's not I don't think that's going to exist.
no, I
You
mean,
all
it's
think that's going
amazing.
to exist? I don't know why I pulled Breaking Away out of the
No, no,
but
well, I'll give you an example from this year, and it was on my list of honorable mentions for movies I loved. Sisu 2. Do you know how amazing that movie was made? Now, it's a Finnish film, and it was made for, I think, the equivalent of no, the first one was 1.2 million. This one was made for something like the equivalent of 12 million, largely because they got Richard Brake and, oh, why am I blanking on the other
Steven
guy?
bad guy from Avatar, Steven,
Yeah,
he's a great
him.
character actor.
Anyway, I mean, they got a better cast, but it was still $12 million. It's amazing it didn't go straight to streaming.
Yeah,
I'm glad it didn't. I loved it on the big screen. Like I said, it didn't hit me as hard as the first one, but I still loved it, and my butt will be in the theater to see if they make a part three. But you're right, Joe. It is amazing that a $12 million Finnish film got an American release in theater, even though it only lasted 2 weeks.
yeah.
I'll buy the DVD when it comes out. But yeah, so you're right. You're right. So you brought something, and that's as good a point. But I just thought
The
it was
Avengers,
interesting.
people are going to go see the Avengers, whatever it's called.
Yeah, my
And
butt will be in the seat. I
I'll
don't
be
care whether
there.
they bring people back.
or
I'm
just a
hoping-
little comedy like The Great Outdoors, a summer comedy. That doesn't exist.
Well, by the way, and that's the another thing I was going to say is I mentioned earlier that we got 3 comedies this year. My argument there would be that we did get Phoenician Scheme. My other 2 would be Naked Gun, which I laughed at some of.
20
And-
minutes of it.
And the other one was, and I got to see it before it left theaters after it was in theaters for a week. Fackham Hall, I did laugh. And it's not going to be for everybody. This will end up being a Super Troopers where one of you might like it, the other one probably won't. And you'll be like, God, what an awful movie. Why did you recommend it? But I laughed at Fackham Hall, especially the Bechdel sisters.
All right. Well, this has been 2025. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're almost there. Actually, we're past 2025. Why
Yeah,
did I say we're almost there. We're in 2026.
Because we're living on prayer.